You're listening to It Takes a Village podcast with Liberty,
Megan,
and Brieanna, where you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be you.
Hello. Hey, folks. Hi, I'm Sam Smythe. I am the sound guy. I'm the one behind the curtain with It Takes a Village podcast. Any listeners, previous listeners out there? Yay, awesome. Well, if you have not, you are about to, because we are actually recording one live right now. It's actually not being live streamed. This is a pre-recorded event, so we will be recording it and editing it and uploading it to our podcast. So I would like to introduce to you three amazing women, the women of It Takes a Village, Megan West, Brieanna Radford, and Liberty Lyons. Thank you.
Make sure your mic's on.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Making sure the microphones are on.
Hi, everyone. We're so excited that you came. Thank you for your support.
Yay.
Thank you.
We're getting situated.
Yeah, give us a sec here.
All right. Welcome to It Takes a Village live with
Liberty.
Megan.
Oh, that's me, and Brieanna. Where you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be you. We're so excited to share today with you guys. Thank you so much for showing up here and being part of the village. We started It Takes a Village because we believe that women's experiences, especially in rural communities, deserve to be heard and shared. These stories not only connect us, but they also serve as a valuable resource for our community.
Before we get started, just want to give you a quick run of show. We're going to share some moments that matter. So those are typically things that we've experienced, usually as moms, but it can be just kind of
What's happening in our life.
moments. Yeah, and we haven't done this since the holidays, so I don't know how far back we're going to go.
Yeah.
And then we're going to introduce our very special guest tonight. Lana Athey is here from Gunnison Tough. Woohoo! And then we're going to wrap up with a Q&A. So if you have questions for us, or if you want to ask Lana any questions or share one of your experiences, please do so. We'd love to be able to record that and then put that on our episode when it goes live on our podcast.
Yeah.
And also, I want to say, if there's something that you want to share today that you don't want shared live on the podcast, just find me afterwards. I can edit it out, but this is still a safe space to ask any question you want. So afterwards, if you're like, I really don't want that shared publicly, just let me know.
Yeah. Awesome. Also, don't forget, after this, if you're sticking around, there is the film showing of Butterflies in a Blizzard, which is a personal story of Kimmy Fasani, a professional snowboarder with Burton. And she kind of trailblazed maternity leave with Burton, and also has, she's going to share in the movie a really heartwarming and intense experience she had of her own breast cancer journey. And so we thought that movie, Lana, our podcast kind of came together. So we're really happy to do this in partnership with the Arts Center. Thank you to the Arts Center.
Thank you to the Arts
for
Center
having us here. And yeah, so with that, I think we'll get started with moments that matter. We kind of rebranded it. If you listen to the podcast, it was Mom Moments. But okay, so I have kind of a funny moment that came up recently. So my daughter, Minna, she's 3, going on 4, which, as you know, is a fun time in motherhood. And we were at the library with another one of her little friends, and that friend is having a little brother. And it's really exciting. And I was trying to talk to her about how much her mommy and daddy love her and how her new brother is going to come and all of this. And Minna then was like, very loudly in the middle of the theater, or I'm in a theater, in the library, it was like, I came out of your vagina. Really loud. And I was like, accurate? Yes. So she's learned that. That's good. But yeah, so that was just my moment with her this week that made me crack up. It was so funny. And
But accurate.
Very accurate. Yeah. I was like, yeah. Anatomically, yes. Yeah. And so just personally for me, over the last month or so since we recorded our very last episode of season 1, which was such a great experience. I just want to speak a little bit to like the first season being super great.
Yeah, transformative, more than we thought it would be.
Yeah. And
That's okay. Have your fun.
yeah, we have kids in the room.
Let them wander.
Because this is what this is about. It's totally fine. so holidays can be a lot, and it has been a lot, and but it was really nice. We had a very chill Christmas. It was just the three of us, me, my husband, and my daughter, and that was really nice. I threw out the idea of a massive dinner, and we just did Mexican food.
Oh, that sounds good.
Which was really nice.
Yeah.
And I didn't do Christmas cards. Like I really was trying to lean into giving myself a little bit of a break because the mental load, as we discussed on our last episode, it's just a lot at Christmas time for moms. And so I really tried to lean into taking the pressure off myself, and that felt really nice. But yeah, I was in denial about going back to work for sure for the first week. But things are going well. And yeah, I think that's really it for me. Tough time, but we're working through it. Yeah.
My mom moment was while we were traveling. So I learned more and more about my son. He's in middle school and he is now 12, going on 13. And I find out more and more about the person that he's becoming and who he is the older he gets. And it turns out it's just like me. So on a vacation needs some break time from all of the people, all of the happenings, all of the family. And this past trip that we had with him, I had to do like some tough parenting that I realized wasn't really working for Evan, where I was addressing what was happening in the moment. Like, I really wish you weren't spending this much time away from the family, or I really wish you were doing it this way. So instead, the next day, I told him, here's what my expectations are for the day. Instead of meeting him at every moment I felt like he was disappointing me, we both together set expectations for how an introvert gets through the holidays. I was like, it's okay if you need to take a certain amount of time for a break, but make sure it's timed. Make sure that you're considering the other people present, but that you're also making sure you're healing. And that day went so much more successfully. It was not putting out fires or him always feeling like he was in trouble. It was him just really understanding what he needs in a group like that and how to do it appropriately. So he's balanced and the group dynamics are balanced. And I'm so proud of him. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Good job.
It's very hard to maneuver those moments.
I know. I was like, I understand the need to like hide away and read a book the whole time, but
I mean, it's just hard to maneuver and know as a mom, like, oh, that was the right approach.
And if you can have that expectation conversation with them in the morning, here's what I expect, instead of all throughout the day, here's what's going wrong.
Yeah.
It kind of sets you up as a team. And that went a lot better.
Doesn't always work with a 4-year-old.
No. But for a tween.
That's kind of where I'm at. I have a 4-year-old turning 5, and I definitely try to talk to her about the expectations, and I can see her looking at me and taking it in and saying, no, I'm going to throw that out the window today. And that's okay because she's figuring it out. But
she is.
I've had a lot of very exciting moments just this last week. She's learning a lot of new skills. I'm definitely keeping her busy. So she does ice skating on Tuesdays, dance on Wednesdays, mindfulness Thursdays, and skiing on Fridays. But ice skating, she's only been in 2 sessions now, and she's figured out how to get up, which is super exciting.
Hey,
on her own.
better than I can do.
And whoops.
Yay.
Welcome. Come on in.
And she is like the only one in her class actually trying to get up, which is super exciting. And then kind of wobbling around. But it's really fun watching all these little 4-year-olds trying to figure it out on the ice. So it's kind of how life feels. You fall down, you get back up. But
Yeah.
So yeah, she's doing great though. I mean, it's just, it's hard. 4 is hard.
4 is hard.
So there's a lot of battles happening in our house.
Yeah.
Big feels and
Big feels.
It evens out when they get more language.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can express themselves better.
Yeah.
Around 5.
Exactly.
And you don't have to wipe for them anymore.
Yeah. You no longer have to.
Sometimes.
Eventually we'll get there. I'm just dreaming.
There's still occasionally in our house Mom, I need your help. Come wipe my booty. And I'm like,
But Mom. Yeah.
yeah. But it's fine.
You're nearing the end.
I'm nearing the end. Yeah.
On that, shall we introduce our special guest?
Yes. Are we ready for a special guest now? No more moments that matter. So we are very happy to introduce Lana Athey today. She is the newly appointed, as of yesterday, Executive Director of Gunnison Tough.
Yay! Welcome.
Congratulations, Lana.
Yeah. Very exciting.
So Yeah.
Turn that
So while Lana gets adjusted, I just want to be sure that you all know that we're going to cover topics concerning breast cancer, sickness, how to work through it in a rural community and with your family. And if this is too difficult for anyone, please feel free to stand up and step out of the room. We have an ability to edit anything out. So really anything can happen in this room today that can be edited out, that needs to happen to be genuine. If you need to stand up and leave, please do. Today we will be talking about breast cancer, how to deal with women's health in such a rural, remote area.
Okay.
Thank you all for having me.
We're so glad to have you, Lana. Thank you for saying yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, should we just get started with like who you are, what your new role that you're stepping into, and what that significance means, and what Gunnison Tough does for the Valley?
Yeah. So Lana Athey, and just as of yesterday, like Megan said, Megan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I became the executive director of Gunnison Tough, following Heidi Sherritt, in her footsteps in that. And I have been with the organization since 2018.
Oh, wow.
So most recently working as the program manager for Gunnison Tough. So I'm excited to just continue working with our clients, but also help grow the organization moving forward. And just grateful for the opportunity. And so me as a person, I grew up here. Gunnison's my hometown. It was my dad's hometown and
I
my
didn't know that.
grandparents.
Oh, cool.
And so it's really close to my heart. And that's why I'm very excited to continue to lead this organization, because we are very grassroots and, started just from the good of the community. And it's grown so much over the years. So I'm looking forward to continuing that growth and supporting the community that I love. I'm also a mother of 3. So my kids are 16, 14, and 9. And so I loved hearing everybody's stories and thinking about the wipe my butt comment of Jess. I was like, well, it kind of ends at 4, but really, I remember my 6-year-old yelling from a wedding venue out of a porta potty to come wipe my butt. So it might still happen for a while, but
Hey, not quite there.
Yeah, getting closer.
Closer.
Yeah.
So what brought you to Gunnison Tough?
Yeah. Well, so I've worked with the county, Gunnison County, for 15 years now. I'm just leaving that role. My last day will be next week.
Wow.
And yes, so I'm kind of sad about that transition because I loved the work I did there with the Early Childhood Council. But in that work, I was able to work with a lot of other community organizations. And I was part of the Health Coalition. And in one of our meetings, the former CEO of Gunnison Valley Health mentioned, I think this was in 2017, that they had just received a 3D mammography machine from Gunnison. Well, at the time, it was called Cattleman's Days Tough Enough to Wear Pink, donated the item to them to increase screenings. And then he also mentioned that they had bought a truck for people to use to take to their out-of-town treatments. And I was really intrigued by the fact that an organization found a way to make transportation possible for people going through cancer that needed to go outside of the valley. And then it wasn't maybe 3 months later, I saw a newspaper ad for an administrative assistant position, and I applied for it. And then I've been working there part-time ever since. So 2018, I started.
And is that common that people have to leave the valley to receive the treatment that they need?
It is getting less common.
Okay.
Luckily, the hospital has done a great job, and us in partnership with them, in trying to make cancer care services more accessible here locally.
Okay, great.
So we do have a lot of people getting their chemotherapy treatments here, and different infusions. Some are able to do other like immunotherapy infusions, but we do have a considerable amount still that will need to travel to Denver area, or Montrose or Grand Junction. We don't offer radiation services here. So anybody needing any form of radiation does have to leave the community for a long period of time sometimes.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's getting less common, but it'll probably always honestly still be a thing because there's so many specialists in those larger hospitals that they can access care with. And I do think our oncology department does a good job in collaborating with outside entities to kind of coordinate care so people can receive more treatments locally, but it's not 100% all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you think it's improving?
I think it's improving. Yeah. Even in the last 8 years, it's improved pretty significantly,
Good.
I would say. Yeah.
Gunnison Tough began with the focus on breast cancer, correct? And then
Yes.
kind of expanded into other types of cancer. How has that evolution changed the way that you guys serve the community, or has it? Or a little bit more about your mission maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Gunnison Tough, we just rebranded. We became our own nonprofit in 2024. But prior to that, we were a program called Tough Enough to Wear Pink that was under the Cattlemen's Days organization. So we were called Cattlemen's Days Tough Enough to Wear Pink for probably 18 years of our existence in the community. And the Tough Enough to Wear Pink platform is a national platform that rodeo, the PRCA Rodeo, stands by to raise money for breast cancer awareness and treatment and support. And so we were working under that platform. And I remember when I started in 2018, it was really hard because we did only solely focus on breast cancer. So when we had the transportation program open, it was really only our breast cancer clients that were able to use the vehicle. And at that time, we had one vehicle. And one of our donors, Carol May and Jim Sandin, they donated a vehicle to our organization, a Dodge Durango. And Carol May, she said she wanted that vehicle to be available for people with all forms of cancer. And that was kind of when we started diving in to serving individuals with all forms of cancer.
Okay.
And so from there, we've had a Lucy's House lodging support program that started also because one of our large donors, Norman and Dorothy Eastwood, they gave to the program that they wanted to call Lucy's House, named after Norman's mother. And they wanted to support individuals with all forms of cancer in accessing lodging service at like rooms or Airbnbs while they were going through like long-term stays to get treatment outside of the valley. So we've just really grown our efforts and our access based on what different donors were interested in donating to, but also what we knew the needs were. And it was such a relief for me as the program manager to be able to say, well, you can take the car now. You don't have the wrong form of cancer now to be able to take the car. You know, that was really hard. Like, I'm sorry, you don't have breast cancer, so you can't. So it's really been amazing that we've been able to do that for the community.
Good.
And these vehicles will take them either to Denver or Montrose or Grand Junction. So do you have is it on a running schedule or how does that work?
Yeah. So right now we have 5 vehicles. We've grown to 5. And our clients just will call or text me. So there's obviously like an application and an intake form, but we never deny anybody services. And
You never deny anybody services.
never.
So they don't even do they have to be female?
Nope. It's male or female, children. We support anybody in the community that's going through cancer.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's really open to all now.
Yeah.
But they'll call me and give me their dates that they need to take the vehicles. And I put it on my calendar and they go to the ER and they grab a set of keys. And it's really foreign to some people. They're like, so all I do is grab the keys. They're like, yep, that's all you have to do. And the car is there and it's ready for you in the parking lot. And we have a gas card in there for you and we cover fuel so they can take it whenever they need it.
Oh, that's
Who's
cool.
funding Gunnison Tough right now?
It's a lot of private donations, mostly, and then grants. So we do a big singer-songwriter shuffle every summer. And that is where we get the bulk. That's our biggest fundraiser.
Is
of
that
the
a
year.
concert?
It's a concert. Yeah. So we do a concert and an auction, like a live auction. And that is where we get the majority of our funding. I also write different grants to fund certain programs and that kind of thing. But the bulk of it is from fundraising from that large event. And then we have like March 6th and through the 8th, we'll have a women's hockey tournament.
Ooh,
So that's one of our fundraisers for it's a financial aid program. And that's been going on for so many years. It was before I started that was going. And then we have other smaller, well, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Bull Fest. We did Bull Fest in August last year.
What is Bullfest?
So it's American bullfighting and bull riding.
I pictured bowling.
And American bull riding and bullfighting. And we did it over here at the fairgrounds. So that is another one of our fundraising events.
You still work closely with Cattlemen's Days?
We do work. We haven't collaborated as much in the last year and a half with Cattlemen's Days. But definitely still, I'm a gunny girl. So the rodeo and Cattlemen's Days is a huge piece of my upbringing and my children's now. So I love Cattlemen's Days.
And just remind me and our listeners, there was a separation of some sorts.
Yeah. So instead of us being a program under Cattlemen's Days now, we became our own nonprofit. We got so big as a program, and we wanted to start being able to apply for like larger, like healthcare kind of related grants, that it was kind of a natural, gradual transition into being our own nonprofit entity to be able to apply for that. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. That's good.
You also partner with Gunnison Valley Health in some ways, right? So can you speak about maybe screenings and early detection? Because that saves so many lives. And can you speak to any of the partnership that you have with Gunnison Valley Health?
Yeah, we have a really strong partnership with GVH. They have been great to collaborate with. And before I even started with Gunnison Tough, they had already begun, like they had bought the 3D mammogram machine for Gunnison Valley Health to be able to use.
Fantastic.
It was really great. And it was state of the art. Like it was one of the top of line equipment back in the day. I'm sure there's something that outpaces it now, but I think it's still pretty top notch, especially for our small community. And with that equipment donation, we have a fund that is available for people to cover the cost of their mammograms. And it's now expanded to ultrasounds, breast MRIs, biopsies, anything related to breast cancer screening. So that is where we've stayed specific, supporting women's health with breast cancer screenings. And that also, like, we've never denied anybody support. It's really like you apply and you get the help and coverage you need. We know even our insured individuals in the Valley might have a really high deductible plan that for some reason doesn't cover diagnostic screenings. So they'll cover like basic screenings, but not diagnostic. And so that's sometimes where we will step in. But there's also people that are not insured and need to have these screenings done. And we don't want like their financial well-being to like dictate if they get the screenings and support that they need. So
what's the difference? What's a diagnostic screening is?
Yeah, good question.
Is it when they know there's something that might be there and they're going in to get checked?
Yep. So it's like, a regular mammogram screening is if you are over the age that insurance sets for you to get a screening, or like that's recommended. So I think it's 40 right now.
I was going to say, I think it's 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for breast cancer,
Yeah.
So if you're over 40 or you're at 40, your insurance will usually cover that screening annually for you to get that done. If you go in and you're over 40 and you feel a lump or something, and your doctor writes the script for you to get the mammogram, that's technically diagnostic because they're looking for something in that.
I actually talked to one of the doctors here and she said, don't necessarily tell them that you felt anything, just go get a screening and they'll cover it. So which is not...
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to say the least. But I will say, I think it's so phenomenal that you guys haven't turned anyone away and that there's a fund to be accessed for this. My father passed away 3 years ago from cancer. And that was one of the main barriers to him even finding out, because he found out very late. And a lot of that came from fear of how much things would cost to go to the doctor. So it means so much to have that. Because it can really save people's lives. And that's phenomenal. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for what you do.
Course.
It's like so important.
It is important.
So they just call you or just call Gunnison Tough. And
we actually have,
from there?
Yeah. So we have it set up with the hospital right now that if you go in and you're getting set up for your mammogram, when you go check in with the admin department, if it's a screening and you don't have insurance, they'll just automatically bill us without having people apply.
Oh, wow.
So we have it just to like remove barriers as much as possible.
Wow.
If it is a diagnostic screening, we usually do ask for an application after that because it's a different rate. They'll often require so our organization, I think it was 2 years ago, we bought this A-Bus. It's a automated breast ultrasound machine. So it's supposed to really pick up anything that a mammogram wouldn't see without a technician doing an ultrasound over your breast.
Huh.
And so that is now being recommended also for somebody with dense breast tissue. So when they go in and get their screening mammogram, if they're flagged for dense breast tissue, the doctor will then say, we'd like you to follow up and do an automated breast ultrasound. And then we will usually have people apply to us for that. And it's also just for our records too. And then we've already kind of built that relationship with the individual. If anything comes back positive, they'll know to reach out to us for other supports. Or if they have to do a biopsy or something like that, we want to be accessible and available for them for that support. So yes, it's an easy process. You can go in, get your screening mammograms covered. Don't have to worry about an application. Otherwise, it is an application. But again, we never turn anyone away, regardless of income or citizenship status or employment or anything like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Accessible to everyone in the
Accessible
Gunnison
to
Valley.
everyone. Yes.
This is like taking down a fear. I didn't know I had any fear around, like, but I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so much more comfortable if something were to come up.
Yeah.
That there's a support here.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
There's
And
huge
honestly, I have to say, I had a breast cancer scare in 2020, and it was poor timing to mention it to anyone, so I didn't. But when I went in, and it was so terrifying, there were so many things from Gunnison Tough that just made it cozier
Mhm.
and feel more like someone was there by my side. Like, I think the robes were pink and like beautiful and plush. Like, you felt held.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a scary, like, sterile. And the people present with me from the hospital said that's because of Tough Enough to wear pink.
Mhm.
Like, all of this is this cozy and this comforting because of Tough Enough. And I can't even explain how important it was for me in that moment. I turned out fine, by the way. I'm okay.
That's good.
But in that moment when you really don't know, to have just those small extra things, like it's not the regular hospital gown, it's a soft pink rug, and here are some slippers, and like there's an organization here that's got you,
Mhm.
was instrumental.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah.
What are some other programs or ways that you support patients?
Well, I did want to mention, because we're talking about screenings.
Mhm.
So there's also another screening fund that we have worked with Living Journeys. So another cancer support nonprofit that serves this valley, and Gunnison Valley Health. And we all pitched in, I think $25,000 it was last year. So there's a big pot of funding right now that's available for any cancer screening for anyone in the community also. So the people are able to apply through GVH online and get that support. So it can be for colon cancer, lung cancer, cervical cancer, any kind of cancer screening that is available here. They can apply for that if the insurance won't cover it. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's incredible.
yeah, it's great. So people should go online if you need something, or if you've been putting it off, just
Exactly.
go visit that
Don't put it off.
website and do it.
And where it feels like you might be really alone, you're really not.
It's true.
Yeah. There are
Yep.
people and organizations here to help.
Yep, it is. And then, so for other programs, sorry, to
No,
get
you're
back
fine.
to your question, we have the lodging support and the vehicles. We also have a fund called Make It a Great Day. And that one we provide massage and acupuncture and orthobiotomy, house cleaning services, anything that somebody might need for that more holistic care.
Wow, that's
Setup.
amazing.
Yeah, in the community. So that's great. And we also offer those sessions to anybody caring for somebody going through cancer, because we know that's exhausting and can be really a lot of stress on somebody's shoulders. So we want them to have the opportunity to be cared for too. So that's open to caregivers as well.
And those the caregivers specifically, is there other resources that exist in the Valley for them? Are there groups that meet
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
anywhere where they can talk to anyone but their spouse about the weight that they're carrying?
Yes, absolutely. So Living Journeys has some great therapy groups there that people, caregivers, they have one specific group for caregivers and others for like a bereavement group. There's ones for people going through cancer currently. So there are options there too.
And those are all free.
They're all free.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Yes. All of this is free.
All
it
of this
free.
is free.
All of it is free.
Yes.
This is amazing. I'm learning all of this real time. And I'm just like floored.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
it's great.
I don't know so like speaking about women's experiences in emotional health during this process, cancer affects more than your body. And what have you seen are some of the emotional challenges that can be faced, whether or not it's a woman, it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman, but that's what we're kind of focused on that for this podcast. But what kind of an emotional toll can that take? And is there, you just talked about, the community's support, but are there any other types of challenges that you wanted to raise, I guess, that you've seen come through your door?
Yeah. I think something that always comes up with most of our clients is it's really hard to ask for help when you're going through something like this. And we always assure them, like, it doesn't matter where you're at in comparison to others that are going through the same thing. Like, we want to support you no matter what. And I always say, like, you didn't ask to have this happen to you.
Yeah.
But you can ask for help. Like, that's why we're here and we want to be a support. But emotionally, I feel like we've had some younger people diagnosed throughout the years that some of them have families and they have young families. And so that pull, I know, and this is about, motherhood too. There's a lot of this podcast. So I think we all feel that pull that we want to be there, and moms are always available for their children, and we're the caregivers. We're not usually the ones being taken care of. And I think that's really hard for some of our moms going through this.
To accept being taken care of.
Yeah, to be taken care of, but also that guilt that they feel maybe when they can't be there for their, for their loved ones or their children if they don't feel good, And it's so always talking to them about asking for that support and not feeling ashamed too. But we've also designed programs to be able to support them, and maybe they don't feel as much guilt asking an organization rather than like a friend or family member to set aside time in their own day. Some of them, I think it's easier to ask us than ask someone else too. Or like we have a Sparky's Fund is another. We have a lot of programs because we come up with them.
Please explain them.
Yeah, we come up with them as the need arises. Like, we'll hear from a client and they're like, we're struggling with this. And we're like, we're going to create a program for that. Like, that's great. And then it ends up that most people need this. But we have Sparky's Fund is really meant to support children that of somebody going through cancer. So we'll cover summer camps or childcare or those kind of like enriching activities for the children that maybe they could be missing out on if they, the parents can't afford it or, and so encouraging people to use that. It's also hard though, because when your immune system's not great, don't really want your kids in like a petri dish of germs either. So trying to help them find that balance in their lives that they feel comfortable, but also supported. But I do think that is hard for some of our younger clients with children is just, sometimes we'll have parents that have to be away for 4 to 6 weeks for their radiation treatments, or if they're having surgery somewhere and they need to recover. And like just being away from your kids, it's hard for me to be away from my kids for a few days, but let alone weeks. So something that we do try to do if the kids are maybe not in school and don't have a lot of things going on and the family has the ability to go together is we'll try to rent like an Airbnb or a house for them to use rather than a hotel room while they're over wherever, so that they can be together. We had a family several years ago that we were able to rent a cabin in Montrose while they were going through radiation treatment. And they had such a great time together being in that cabin, had a hot tub. It was like a mini vacation for the family. I remember getting text messages like, we had so much fun in the hot tub. Like, it was fun for them too. So it was creating like good experiences out of hard times for that family and allowing them to still be together. And that's one of my favorite parts of the job is just helping families to still remain close and supported, but also like reminding them that cancer is a piece of it, but it's not like it's not all consuming in your life. And we want you to we want to bring that spark back and give people like moments to celebrate even in hard times. And so we do try to do that with the Sparky's Fund too. We've had people go like to the redwoods or mini vacations to.
Right up Brieanna's
Yeah.
I grew up there.
I know. I love
Moms
it.
are like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've done some mini vacations to like Glenwoods, and they went to the Glenwood Adventure Park and the hot spring. Like we want to make things fun too.
Enjoyable.
Yep.
Yeah.
For
It
these-
can be scary for kids.
It can
right? They
be.
don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to have that time that's uninterrupted, that you're not thinking about treatment and you're maybe not in a hospital waiting room together is even more special. So,
How
Yeah.
many people work at Gunnison Tough?
oh, well, now there's only, no. It's me and Shannon is our event planner. She's amazing. And we have a bookkeeper. So there's 3 of us right now currently.
Wow.
That's
Well
it?
done.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is all still free? I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
it's still free. But before that, so we had 5 people on staff before, but all kind of part-time and juggling it as we went. So
And
yeah.
Corinne?
Oh, different staff.
Different stuff.
different
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Whole different organization.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Sorry.
Never mind. I missed that memo.
Yeah.
My sister is stepping into the role that Lana currently holds,
Oh, I
which
see at the
is
county.
very
Yeah.
exciting and very brand
Yeah, it
new.
is exciting.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
awesome.
You can interview her.
We are.
We're
Okay,
going
good.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this
You
next
should.
toddler era, she's
Yeah.
going to have a lot to say about the importance on the brain.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
She's good
It's
at
going to
that.
make me think I've scarred my child for life. But that's fine.
No.
No, she does well enough at it that you'll feel like you've done the best that you can, and here's what to do moving forward, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then we're going to interview Carrie Comerford, and she's going to make me feel way better.
Yes.
So, Lana, you mentioned earlier that there are a myriad of reasons that people hesitate to reach out to you guys. Could you name some of those reasons?
Mm-hmm. I think sometimes, I don't know if it's hesitation or just a lack of knowledge that I think since we did start with just serving breast cancer
Mm-hmm.
clients, I think there's still that misconception that we only serve women and women with breast cancer.
Sure.
So we're really trying to raise that awareness in the community. And it has gotten like significantly better. I'd say, right, like currently we have 35 active clients
Okay.
in the community of all ages and genders and, so in all types of cancer. But I think that is sometimes a barrier. But I also feel like, a lot of times people just think we're in a good spot. We have good health insurance. We have good paying jobs. We have paid time off. I can do this on my own.
I can handle it on my
Yeah.
own. Yeah.
And it's not to say they can't.
Yeah.
But they probably can. But it's also like that is why we're here. We want to serve everyone. And even if you are set up well and able to manage, there's a lot of, even if you just want to take advantage of our Make It a Great Day program, and get massage and acupuncture every once in a while, or you want your house cleaned, like it's available and it's there. Our cars are there, and most of the time there's at least 1 or 2 that's parked and available like at a moment's notice. So we want people to feel comfortable using them, and it's not asking for help. It's the support that our donors and our community wanted to have here, and we want people to use it and tap into it. So I always just, if you have friends or a family that is currently going through cancer here, like encourage them to ask. And that is sometimes what will happen is we'll get people have a friend that was recently diagnosed that doesn't want to reach out, and they'll just call me or they'll text me and they'll be like, my, so-and-so, and can you call them? And I'm like, sure. No,
Can you though?
Well, I can if they were referred from a friend.
Okay.
Yes. And so I will sometimes. Most of the time the friend has permission to reach out. And then sometimes we'll hear about like people's GoFundMes, and then we're like, oh my gosh, well, I'll reach out to whoever organized the GoFundMe and give them our contact for like that additional support.
So you will reach before a person has to reach for you.
Yeah.
That's great.
We're kind of like stalkers. Your sister knows.
But that's
Your
great.
sister knows a little bit about that. No.
Asking for help is hard.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. but
Yeah, I
it
wonder
is.
if that's a barrier, if it's just really hard to accept that much help.
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be hard for me to accept a whole day of massages and acupuncture.
Right.
And,
Right. Yeah.
Who's providing the massages and acupuncture and all that? So what are some organizations you work with in the community?
Yeah. So they're usually just private practitioners here. We do have like Eva Paul has been helping.
Love Eva Paul.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's been doing massages for us for years. But if somebody has someone that they're already working with, that they're more comfortable with, or they would prefer, we're always willing to pay those people to. Timony Slusher is another in the community that she will work with our Gunnison Tough clients pretty regularly doing acupuncture. And then we have Shonda and Shay Percival. They do our orthobiotomy.
What is orthobiotomy?
Orthobiotomy. Good question.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a light adjustments that's similar to chiropractic care, but not as aggressive.
Oh, okay.
And
more
it's
like
supposed to
muscles,
help
right?
movement. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's just light though. It's not as intense. And a lot of clients really appreciate that. That's huge for them.
Do you have anyone that just donates their time? Like if anybody listens to podcasts and like, oh, I want to participate and
Right.
donate my time.
Yeah, we would love it. Anybody that would love to do
Any
that.
kind of services, any kind of Airbnb. If you're in
Yeah.
Montrose
If you're
or
in
Denver.
Montrose,
Yeah.
I would love to work with somebody in Montrose actually. There is a woman that owns a place that's close to the cancer care center that I've worked with a few times for Airbnb rentals so people could just walk there from her house. But yeah, we would love to work out different things with people for those kind of longer term stays.
Yeah.
We have had an amazing family in Grand Junction that they gave their guest house to a family for a few months.
Oh, wow.
Just a donation for them to stay in, which was amazing. So
Yeah.
we have really, people are really generous and kind, and cancer does impact so many people that I think it touches everybody's heart and they want to be able to support however
help,
they can.
yeah.
So, yeah.
We've talked about just how difficult it is to reach out and ask for help. And this is just a through line to every other episode we've done, where it's just it's hard for women to take on care, let people care for them. And I don't know if there are women listening now who are postponing screenings or just feeling unsure. Is there anything you want to say to them directly?
Yeah, I would say don't wait. And I think listen to your body too. If you are noticing something, and go get it checked out.
What things would you start noticing that you would need to get checked out? I know.
That's hard. Because I think, especially with breast cancer, if you get the screenings early enough and they identify it early enough, you may not have any symptoms, and that's why annual screenings are such a thing, right? Because they find it so early that you're able to treat it easily, and the success rate of treatment is significantly better than if you maybe had developed symptoms. So I think that annual screening is really important to do and follow the recommendations that are put out there for a reason. Colon too, I think is huge. And I know colonoscopies can be scary for people. And my parents,
neither of
my
them are
parents
super
will never
great.
listen to this podcast. So I'm just going to tell this, that they still have not got their colonoscopy and they're, in their 70s now. But it's because it's intimidating. And I remember I bought those Cologuard, the poop check packages for Christmas. For them to do that.
Put it under the tree?
I don't remember if I put it under the tree or if I just ordered it for him that day because I was like, you guys need to do this. But I think just doing it. And if you're, talk to your physician, obviously your primary care, because I'm not a doctor, and they'll give you the recommendations. But I think if you feel anything out of the ordinary that isn't typical of your body, and it lasts for a longer period of time, it's important to just go get it checked out just to see.
Yeah.
And it also gives you that peace of mind. So since I started this work, I have gone to the doctor so many times.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac. And if I hear of what somebody else is going through, I'm like, I have that. I could probably never be in medical school. I would have everything wrong with me all the time. But I think it's good to do that. And if you don't have a primary caregiver here already established, maybe look into that. There's also really great resources, Public Health has resources for people too, that you can just schedule an appointment and you could do a pap smear or, things like that too. And they can write scripts for mammograms for you.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So you can there's this Women's Wellness Connection is actually for women over 50, where you can get a lot of screenings and different things covered too. So there are resources in the community. And if anybody's ever curious about them, like I am an open book and I am always willing to talk with somebody about their options and what they can access here locally too.
So we were talking about women's experiences, struggles with asking for help and all the different amazing programs that you have. And you even spoke directly to some women who, if they're hesitating, don't wait. What else around like misconceptions, misunderstanding about cancer in general? What do you want to call out? Like, is there anything that you wish more people understood?
Mm-hmm. I guess when I'm thinking about it, just for our community, I do feel like there are some misconceptions around just what we're able to treat here locally, and the different screening services that are available here. I know we are in a very rural place and it can be hard to access care, but there's been a lot of work, I feel like, especially with our oncology department, to be able to offer services to keep people closer to home. That maybe wasn't the case 10 years ago, but it's getting better and better, like I mentioned, over the years. I also think I think it's pretty amazing how many people in our community are currently living with cancer that we may not even know, have been living with it and dealing with it for several years now. And so I feel like there is hope in a cancer diagnosis and trying to help people see that side of things and feel confident moving forward and that they have something to hold on to when they first get diagnosed is really important. And there's a lot of support and different things available. And to not quit fighting and advocating for yourself and your care is really important as people move through that process. So, I think that's something that is a misconception a little bit around cancer.
And I like something you said earlier about treating the other parts of the human like this is not all of you. And so you deserve this kind of treatment, these kind of resources, just keeping in mind that cancer is not the only thing about that person anymore.
Right. Yeah. I think that's something our organization has done well at, is just celebrating the little wins with people.
Yeah.
And, we want people to, yes, we want lodging and transportation and financial aid to be like our core programs, but we also want people to feel like they can go on a date night and we'll cover the babysitter or we'll pay for the tickets. We want people to feel okay asking, like, my child really wants to go to this summer camp this summer. Is it okay? We want them to feel okay asking for that, because that's a big piece of our work too. It's not just surrounded around care, but it's the whole family and the whole system. And we want you to feel fully supported.
And it also helps you secure funding, correct? The more people use these programs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need to reframe it and you're not great at accepting help and you'd be like, well, I'm helping other people.
Yeah.
Get it eventually.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I feel like that would help me.
I do say that. I often say, I know you might feel bad asking for help, but this is what our donors gave the money for.
Yeah.
This is what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They were very, strong in their beliefs that they wanted people to have the support and care they needed. And we want you to use that here. We had a couple years ago at our auction, we had one man who, him and his family, they gave so much at the auction. They bought so many different auction items to support. And when he was cashing out at the end of the day, I was like, thank you so much for this support. It's really going to have a huge impact on so many people. And he shared that his wife had gone through cancer just previously that year, and they were set on giving a certain amount. And they just want people to have the same access and quality of care that they had where they were
Wow.
from. And that is what he led with his heart in that giving, and knew that he was giving to us to hopefully make that accessible to all here in their community too. So
You don't hear that often.
no, people are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed by that.
Yeah.
I feel like cancer touches everyone
It does.
at some
That's
point,
true.
Yeah.
right? So it's very personal.
For sure.
What kind of care does GVH offer?
Yeah. So they have an oncologist on board that can work with clients. They do the chemotherapy there. And I'm not sure on all of the infusions, but they can get, set up a care plan for individuals and support them. I think the new surgeon that is onboarded there they'll hopefully be able to offer like breast surgeries there too for breast cancer patients. And I think they can do other surgeries for other forms of cancer too now. So they are expanding that access there. Oftentimes it would be people would travel outside of the valley, get their surgery done, and then come back here for the actual treatment portion of the care. But that's starting to shift slightly. I think people still do get a lot of the like the surgical piece of it covered over there. And then they'll coordinate care here locally for the follow-up treatments and that kind of thing. Yeah.
And then the radiation primarily happens elsewhere.
Yeah.
That's very
We would
specific.
love to have radiation services here, but it's a really big ask and a big thing for the community because of what they would have to build in the building, like the vaults. And you have to have, I think, a physicist on board to create that and be able to manage and oversee that. So it's a bigger thing for a community that maybe has more people utilizing that service. And that's why Montrose is able to have it. And luckily it's close.
Yeah, that's
close.
Yeah, that's true.
So it makes it not as bad, but we still have people, we'll give the car, we'll let them check it out for that 4 to 6 week period that they're in radiation and driving it back and forth. But some people still just want to stay there and not have to drive back and forth, especially when the bridge is closed.
I was going to ask. How did the bridge
how did that
closure
affect
That was-
everything you do?
It was crazy. I remember I was meeting people on top of 9 Mile because my house is just like a mile from where the cutoff was for people to head over. So
Wait, on what side of it?
on
Cut off or
the
not?
Gunnison side of the cutoff. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
did your kids vote to school?
No, luckily they didn't vote to school, but I was meeting people up there to try to get them through to be able to go for their appointments. I only had to do that a couple times. And then after that, they were able to get the road open. And we actually ended up just getting most of the people that were going there for treatments a place to stay that time so that they didn't have to hit it at certain times to get back home and stuff. So it wasn't horrible. It could have been worse.
And you guys are adaptable.
Yes. That's the name of the game for us. We're
Good.
very adaptable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, what other kind of support is Gunnison Tough looking for that they could get from the community?
Well, we always love to have volunteers at any of our events. We have the need for so many volunteers during those different offerings and events. And then sometimes there's a need for volunteer drivers for some of our clients. So that is often a gap. Most people usually will have like a family member or friend that can drive them, but sometimes we will need a volunteer driver. And we are starting really to get a hold of our committees now that work on our programs and our event planning and volunteer recruitment. So if anybody was ever interested in being a part of those committees and getting more involved that way, we would love to have different people's perspective and how we can engage the community better and support the community better. Obviously, in our programs, it'd be great to have more of our past clients there to give their feedback and ideas for future programming that we could have or ways that we could make it better.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Like
So,
alumni feedback. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'll see people in the community, and they'll mention things or they'll just mention things while they're using the services that we'll try to tweak a little bit. But any involvement, like I would love to have the community, we do have a really great volunteer base already that has been supportive. We have several of volunteers that have been with us since I started and even before I started that are incredible. So kind of building that base up more would be great and kind of alleviate some of the pressure that they have too, because they've done so much for us over the years.
And how would they join that base? Would they email someone specifically at Gunnison Tough?
Yeah, they could email me.
Okay.
It's just lana@gunnisontough.com, or Shannon is our event planner if they really want to be specific around events. But also, if you just followed us on Instagram or Facebook, we'll often post like volunteer opportunities on there and volunteer signups. So you could come and volunteer at our Songwriter Shuffle. That's in July. This year it'll be July 16th. And that's our big fundraiser. Or if you wanted to volunteer at Pink in the Rink in March, we have opportunities there too. And then Bowl Fest will have a lot of volunteer opportunities there too.
So is there still any connection?
That's the hockey tournament, the women's hockey tournament. Yeah.
Is there any connection still to Cattlemen's Days at all?
There hasn't been as much lately. Yeah. Maybe.
So that wouldn't be somewhere that you would like go and attend and look for the Tough Enough to Wear Pink stuff anymore.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. We don't have that as much anymore. We'll have Bowl Fest, which will kind of be hopefully holding on to some of those agricultural roots, that tradition there.
Would it be a good time to switch over to our Q&A?
I think, yeah.
Audience questions.
Sam will run a microphone to you if you have a question, so you don't have to get up or do anything.
Could be a question, could be a story.
Oh yeah, a story too. Share too.
Yeah.
It's a question.
Cool.
It's actually not a question. It's more maybe of a discussion point. But in my research as a medical sociologist, we find that Colorado has really high rates of breast cancer because breast tissue is really dense. And so I just wanted to essentially kind of highlight Lana's point that screenings are really important, but so is diagnostics, because I think, well, maybe it's going to turn into a story. I have a lot of friends in the Valley who are hitting 40. They're going in for their mammograms.
Mm-hmm.
They get a call back to go get a diagnostic and they're really scared. And so I'm just wondering what people can do in that interim. Like they haven't been diagnosed with cancer, but yet, and a lot of times, especially in Colorado, our dense breast tissue leads to nodules that are benign.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this period of waiting that's really scary. And so I'm wondering if people can reach out to Gunnison Tough even in that interim.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had several women actually, even some recently, that have called because they'll get the notification that they had dense breast tissue. They're recommending they come in for the ABUS, and that's the automated breast ultrasound. And they're anxious and nervous. And I think usually what I say is, you just try to take in and breathe a little bit in this moment. Work with radiology to try to get that scheduled as soon as possible, just so you have the peace of mind and get it over with and done. And that, I think sometimes that gap and that waiting period can also happen because they are worried about the cost of that. And that is also where we step in and are like, well, you don't have to worry about the cost. Just do it. Like schedule it now. Schedule it before you leave. You might have this happen. Sometimes we'll say they might recommend the ultrasound after the mammogram. And that's almost normal now, especially for the women with dense breast tissue. They're recommending it for everyone that has dense breast tissue.
Could we talk a little bit more about dense breast tissue? What does that mean? Does that set you up to be more likely to have breast cancer? I'm so curious.
I think it's just difficult sometimes also to see if there is something in the mammogram imaging
because
when you have dense breast tissue. Yeah. There's a lot
more fat or
less fat.
Less fat.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like muscular structure and different,
Is that why Colorado is? Are we just fit?
Yeah, why?
That's
part
for
of it.
sure a part of it, is that Colorado tends to be the fittest state. We're always in the running with Utah. And so our obesity rates tend to be lower across the nation. And yeah, it's just, we tend to be more muscular, there we go.
Does that set you up in any sort of negative way?
I don't think there is a correlation, to my knowledge, between dense breast tissue and
Higher
cancer,
occurrences.
Right.
I think it just leads to more diagnostic testing
Okay.
because the imaging isn't perfect. And so I know in Colorado specifically, there are organizations that are working to kind of spread the word for women. Like, don't freak out if you get a call back to have a diagnostic test. A lot of times it's benign because it's just so common for us to have dense breast tissue here in the state.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's something with the imaging. It just makes it more difficult to see different things. So they'll do the ultrasound also.
That's just a lot of comfort to
It's
know,
like a
though, that it's like
fail-safe.
not just a me, it's a Colorado thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That alone.
Because
is like,
that's exactly what they told me, was that it was dense breast tissue. And I don't know if that sets me up for anything bad in the future.
My provider here in town said that pretty much every woman she sees has dense breast tissue.
Right.
And
Okay.
that did put me at ease. It's like, okay, this isn't a me problem. This
Yeah.
is a population, the state
Right.
of Colorado problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
We actually got some breasts that you can touch and
Oh,
feel
cool.
around in to see like comparing a normal breast.
You can feel
with,
where the
so
lump
you know,
is.
because most women aren't like feeling each other up as much.
That's
so it's good
that's
to
such
have.
a good idea.
Some might,
maybe,
and that's
but
totally
not
fine.
others.
But yeah, so we have the breast out, and then you're able to feel like
Oh, that's cool.
what it would feel normally, and then even
I
like
need to
with
do that.
fibrocystic breast tissue, and then like a lump kind of thing.
The
to
most
feel
I ever learned
difference.
was from like 17 magazine. So that's
Right?
very helpful.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's hard too because as moms, like when I was breastfeeding, it was like, oh, I don't know.
Right.
Like you don't know what's normal. You
Right.
change so much. when
Also,
you're
yeah,
breastfeeding.
everything
do.
changes when
everything's
you're breastfeeding.
lumpy in there.
Yeah, everything's lumpy.
So you're like, what's a real
It
one?
is.
What's not? I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I feel like that's super helpful. Because they always tell women, you check every time you're in the shower, make sure, but you don't know what you're checking for.
Yeah,
Like, how
Totally.
do you know?
precisely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, those are good. I can bring them next time you guys have a podcast.
I love it.
Feel.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
And that men also need to check themselves.
They do.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Oh, I wish we had that on the mic. Could you pass the mic over to Jenny so we could get that recorded? Thank you. That was an excellent point. Jenny is going to bring up our point one more time.
Yeah. It should be on, I think.
Should be.
I was just saying that men should also check themselves because you hear more and more. I don't know if it is increasing or not,
Yeah.
but you do hear more and more of men having testicular cancer. I don't know if we're just talking about it more, or if it's developing more, but they should.
Microplastics.
Pardon?
I said microplastics.
Maybe.
Well,
We don't know
who
what
knows?
we should be feeling for in the shower either.
Yeah.
Right.
And also men are facing breast cancer diagnoses as well because they have breast
They have
tissue,
breast
which is
tissue.
where it can occur.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I've
so-
known men who
Yeah,
have
so
breast
they need
cancer.
to be, you're right. I don't know if it's happening more now or just diagnosed more now.
Right.
And the one person I knew, it was just for health insurance. He had to have a medical checkup for health insurance.
Yeah,
And that's how they found he had breast cancer.
just a regular checkup.
Just a regular checkup.
Wow.
So I will say one thing. So I had high risk HPV with severe dysplasia. So I had to get colposcopy and a leap done. And they told me, so I got the HPV vaccine. And they said that Tyler who's my partner, should get it too because how it shows in men is throat cancer.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
And so for us, it's cervical cancer, but for men, it's throat cancer. And they just don't know that. They don't talk about that.
Right.
Like, so they always talk about HPV for women and be careful. And women should get constantly checked and pap smears and stuff. But no one's talking about the effects on men. And so Tyler's best friend, Matt, his father actually had throat cancer from HPV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so common.
So it could have been.
It could have been. It could have been other things.
Right.
HPV vaccine is worth it, I would
It
say.
hurts.
For sure.
It's the most painful vaccine you can get.
Why?
But do it anyway. I
Why?
don't
Does
know.
it
that
burn?
They even warned me when they did it. They're like, it's gonna
I'm
burn.
sorry,
It
but how?
hurts. And I'm sorry. And I thought, okay, sure, it can be that bad.
Does
No,
it
does hurt.
burn?
Yeah. And then
Okay.
it's like
As
bruises
it's
and
there?
yeah, it's
Okay.
Noted.
But do it anyway, and you have to get more than one. It's like
Better than the
2 or 3,
alternative.
I think.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, friend.
First, I want to say this is awesome. The
Oh,
work
thank
that you're doing is so incredibly
Thank you.
valuable and needed. I guess this is a combination of a story and a question. So for me, our family has been touched by cancer as a result of my stepfather. He had colon cancer and then ultimately passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And then for my husband, it's touching his family through his grandmother who's living with cancer right now.
Mm-hmm.
So as we think about our household and the types of conversations that come up around cancer and the support that people need. Sorry, I'm out of breath.
No, that's
I'm a
okay.
6-month-old and I
You're
was
rocking a baby.
packing up to leave before I got the mic. The question that comes up in homes often is like how to pay medical bills and like all the prescriptions that come up as a result of living with cancer.
Mm-hmm.
For my family, we were able to work with an organization that helped a little bit with some of those prescriptions and just unexpected medical bills outside of whatever insurance was able to cover. I'm not sure, but that at the time we were living in another location.
Mm-hmm.
So curious,
Yeah.
here in the Valley,
Mm-hmm.
if you all provide patients with extra support,
Yeah. For medical bills or those kind of things.
prescriptions.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. So that the Friends of Tough program, that is our financial aid program, can help with those, medical bills, anything that comes up as like an added expense for that. There's also, and I know like sometimes those bills can be astronomical even after insurance. And the nurse navigator here at Gunnison Valley Health, Gunnison Tough actually helps pay 30% of that salary annually because we felt when that position was developed, it was a suggestion of our former executive director and board that there be a navigator within the oncology department. And that individual is responsible for helping clients kind of maneuver through some of that and access potentially. Sometimes there'll be programs that will help cover different cancer drugs that people need and at a reduced cost. So helping them to find those different kind of grant programs and opportunities too is an option. But we definitely help cover, medical bills too for people that need it, anything that their insurance might not. We do have currently a cap. We set it at $5,000 annually for those kind of expenses. And that's on top of any of our other programs. So it's just in addition to, but there are great opportunities and options for people through other organizations and funding that we can help them tap into as well. Yeah.
So where you can't fund, you will direct people to where they could find funding.
For sure.
Great.
Yeah.
That was such a good question.
Yeah.
Thank you
That
so
was
much.
a good question.
Does that navigator also help navigate the insurance? Because like Western has this where I have a gal that I can send stuff to because navigating insurance, sometimes they'll try to give you the runaround.
Mm-hmm.
So she will just deal with that for me. So because we're all working full time, right? Like you don't have time to do that and get your treatment and work and take care of your kids.
Totally. Yeah. So she does do some work, like if insurance is denying a certain procedure or treatment, she will work with them to figure out a way to get the insurance to process it or find another drug that's comparable to. So there is that option. I don't know if it's as intense as what Western might do, because I think sometimes insurance companies will have those particular navigators that support people in like getting better rates for things, because ultimately it saves the insurance company money if they have somebody to navigate that cost savings.
It's also like insurance companies making it hard to navigate getting the care you need.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
It is hard.
They pay into it.
It is.
I have a question that is not cancer related. So my question is, I often hear on your podcast how you have received support, how you support each other as mothers. My question is, how can people show up for you that don't have kids? How can people in your friend circle show up to support you and kind of be there to lighten the load, so to speak? I know that you go through some struggles as mothers, and if you could kind of shine a light on that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd say that when any of us are hitting a tough time, one of us is hitting a particularly tough time right now and needs a little extra home help. And that's where we would step in with meals or babysitting in any capacity. That's an excellent way to show up for a mom where logistically her life has become really hard to manage because of getting her child here and here and here and here, plus everything that she has to do. And so offering, honestly, dinner is a huge one.
Yeah.
And then any babysitting time that you possibly can, that you're like, hey, I have a free day. Why don't the kids hang out at my house? Is extraordinarily helpful, especially when a mom friend is dealing with something tough with a lot of logistics outside of her normal day-to-day logistics.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard question because it's like literally asking us, how are you going to ask for help? And when I don't know.
It is
Maybe
also hard to ask for it.
I don't know. Are we all bad at it?
Asking for help?
We're all bad at it. We're all bad at it. So I think the offering part.
The offering.
You have, specifically, Kristen's a friend of ours. When
we use one of her mugs
offer,
on the regular.
Yeah. When people offer, it just takes away that. You're like, oh, okay. Because at least I do, like make up these scenarios of like what this other person has going on in their life and they're so busy. And it's like, I don't really want to ask anybody for that because like, oh, maybe it's inconvenient for me temporarily, but it'll not be forever. But the offer really means a lot because then it's not like you're inconveniencing. So I think it's tough to ask for help. And if you offer every once in a while, it doesn't have to be all the time, but realistically, like what works for you as a friend, like, hey, I actually have a free day coming up and maybe I could give a couple hours, like even an hour for a walk. Like you've done that for me, Kristen. And like, it really makes a difference. Sometimes as a mom, if you have friends without children, like it's very easy for those people to kind of be like, oh, they're going through a lot. I'm going to give her space, which yes, we do need also space, but it's just not, I guess, just not like, I don't think you did this, but like other people will kind of step away and like the way that you live is different and this wedge kind of starts to build between the way that your lives are lived. And so the way to just keep that up is just checking. I keep saying checking in, but like just a quick like, hey, how are you doing this week? Can instigate like, oh, I'm actually struggling right now when you wouldn't have otherwise said that.
Yeah.
And so just like keeping the line open with your friend, even if you feel like your lives have become super different from each other.
I think a big part of the reason why it's so hard to ask for help is this belief that we chose to have this life. We chose to have the kids. So why should we burden others with it?
We should be able to handle it.
We should be able to handle it. Yeah. It's this, well, it's my life. I chose to have this and it's not their problem. I mean, I really kind of feel that like for one of our good friends who's completely soloing it right now. And I don't feel like I can be there for her in the ways she needs me to be because my life is overwhelmed. But
then
unfortunately, she doesn't have the help that we have. I'm very fortunate in how I am. We have an aunt that lives here and my mom who lives here, you know. But I will just, to answer Kristen's question too, is I think one big thing that's been hard for me to navigate too is trusting that my life has changed and all of our lives have changed since having kids, and trusting that our friends are there no matter what. Like it's been hard for me to follow up on lots of friendships, like even friendships in the East Coast, like Kelsey. I mean, we do not talk as much as we used to. And I just trust that she's there and we're okay. And I think it's hard. It's scary.
Moms are still here. And I think sometimes people can perceive like our lack of communication as like a sign that we're no longer interested in having that kind of a friendship. And the friendship it will change. Yeah. But I think most friends of like really strong friendships we'll grow with it. We'll figure it out. And I think not making assumptions about anything and just bringing it out into the conversations that you have.
Yeah, like transparency.
Being like, hey, this has been really hard for me, like as a person without a kid. And how can you asked this question, which is wonderful. Like that's part of it. It's like you being curious.
It's the transparency that's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, that's it. I think we can wrap with some hope. I think.
Yeah. I have a question. Have you had your mammogram recently?
Now is not the time, Megan.
It's gonna go it'll be under the Christmas tree.
I edit Megan.
All right. Yeah. So we always kind of end each of our interviews with like, tell us a story about the village, because it takes a village, the village in action. And can you share a story or moment from your work that captures what being Gunnison tough truly looks like in action? Something that's inspiring, hopeful for us to hang our hat on as we end this conversation.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like there's so much. I don't know. This organization has just seen like tremendous growth over the years, and it really is because of the village, and it is because of our donors and our volunteers coming together to make it all work. And I can think of this one's fun. 1 year. It was COVID 1 year, but we had, there were some pretty strong event regulations on different fundraising events, and we were used to having upwards of 300 people at our summer fundraiser. And I remember there was concern, like, are we going to be able to raise enough to keep our programs like functioning and sustainable as well as we have had them? And Heidi came up with the idea that we would do 3 venues, because the cap was $50 people a venue, 3 venues, 2 nights in a row, auctions at each and every one of those venues each night, and rotate the songwriters that we had through the
Fun.
venues. And that day, the village came together those 2 days, and we rallied, and we were so tired and had so much fun though. And we raised enough money, and we were able to continue our programming, and it was pretty incredible. But that we had people volunteer and offer their homes for the venues. So we had these beautiful homes that hosted everybody, and we were able to move them around. So that was pretty powerful in and of itself, just seeing everybody come together for a cause they believed in.
Yeah.
We were able to recruit 3 times the volunteers that we had to have in previous years. But it was because they believed in the work and they wanted to support. And it was a critical time when it was really hard for people to come together.
And 3 times more is a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I remember my husband was helping the last day, the cleanup day. And we had the trash, and we had our big truck, and the trash was like filled the whole bed of the truck, and it was over the cab. And we were trying to figure out ways to tie it down to get it into town, because we call a trash truck. But it was pretty incredible to see the community come together. And it was former clients of ours, and some of their family members of people that we had lost, and our volunteers and our donors. It was pretty incredible. So that is when the village came together, I do feel like. And there's been so many others too.
Yeah.
It's really incredible in our small community, even though we are rural and, we're not a big city, and we maybe don't have as many of the resources readily available. I feel like we're so fortunate in that we have the ability to really foster true connection here and wrap ourselves around people going through hard times.
Yeah.
And we've seen that time and time again with our clients, and wrapping around their families, and, meal trains and GoFundMes and anything you could think, childcare. We have so many people that will just pick up somebody's kid and take them for the day, and have scheduled days that they'll take them to. And
yeah, our medical resources
amazing.
may not be strong, but our community village resources are.
It's so true. And people across, like at UC Health, a lot of our clients will go over there for treatment, and they're just amazed. They're like, you can check out, like, there's a car that you can take. And then more and more people were taking the cars. And sometimes there'll be multiple cars at UC Health parked there. But it's all because of this community.
Yeah.
We're so unique that we have those resources available. And it's all because of the people who live here and love this place and the people in it.
So even if it feels small and impossible, you can still create invaluable resources.
I feel like we're luckier than ever to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
I love it.
I did want to ask, what gives you the most hope when you think about the future of cancer research, or maybe even cancer support?
Yeah. I think there's been some clients that I thought we were close to maybe saying goodbye to, that have fully turned the corner because of treatments available to them now, and innovations in care that were maybe unheard of even 2 or 3 years ago. So I think I am super hopeful for the future of cancer care and early detection. And I do think that there's a lot of hope in that field. And even though a lot of the news is more and more people are getting diagnosed at a younger age, but I'm hopeful and optimistic that maybe that's because we're actually looking.
Yeah, it might mean more survivors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully it is.
Mhm.
So I think there is a lot of hope and opportunity there. And I know like our rural healthcare system and organizations like Gunnison Tough and Living Journeys are all working together and collaborating to make sure that people have accessible care here and will continue to, and maybe even grow that access. So I'm hopeful for that too here in our community. But I hope none of us have to go through it.
Yeah.
And I hope cancer research funds still stick around
I hope so too.
or come back, I guess.
Well, let's give a little round of applause for our guest.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yay,
I don't have to
Lana.
clap for myself.
Yes, round of applause
Let's do it.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay. You can clap.
Yeah,
Makes the
clap for
room
you
sound
guys.
full.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody cheer really loud. So yeah, we usually end with our little tagline.
Yeah.
You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to get screened. Okay. Go get screened. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to the Arts Center. Thank you, Lana.
Thank you, Lana.
Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you,
Yeah.
audience. Thank you, Sam.
Thanks for
That's a
joining.
wrap.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming to our first live show.
Thanks, Lana.
Yeah, that was fun, you guys.